Passé composé and imparfait, they are both past tenses. And the real difficulty is not to use the passé composé or the imparfait, it's to know when to use these two tenses, because in the narration, you're very likely to use both these tenses simultaneously when you talk about something in the past. They are each used to describe different things, and we're going to talk about when to use the passé composé and when to use the imparfait. So the passé composé will be used when you talk about a punctual event in the past. So an example, hier, j'ai vu Pauline. It happened yesterday at a specific time. So it's very punctual. Ce matin, nous avons regardé le match. Okay, so it's finished. It was this morning and we watched the game. It can also be for a period of time in the past. So for example, j'ai attendu pendant 10 minutes. So we have a very clear start and a very clear end to the action that we are describing. It took 10 minutes. Now, it can go for a longer period of time, and that's sometimes where students get confused with the imparfait. You can talk about something in the passé composé that went for a long time, as long as you've got a clear starting point and a clear end, as in this example. Elle a habité à Paris de 1990 à 2010. So, it went for 20 years, from 1990 to 2010. So again, it's a definite period of time, but it's a long one. Still using the passé composé. Sometimes we also have an event that starts in the past, but is still true in the present. Examples, j'ai toujours aimé courir le matin. So it has started in the past and it is still true now. Or, il n'a jamais vu ce film. He never saw this movie. D'accord? The situation that was true in the past hasn't changed, so it is still true in the present. Now, sometime in one sentence, we'll have both tenses. And that's when the passé composé is used to describe a specific action versus an ongoing action or state that is expressed in the imparfait. So an example will make it easier to understand. Je lisais quand le téléphone a sonné. So the long action was I was reading when the phone rang. So there was something that was going on and that gets interrupted. So the longer action is in the imparfait, lisez, and the short thing that interrupts is in the passé composé, le téléphone a sonné. Avant, j'étais calme, mais je me suis mise en colère. So here we're describing a state, I was calm, but I got upset. So I was calm until this changed. So there's a rupture. Again, we use the passé composé to express this. And il conduisait toujours vite, so he used to drive very fast. Un jour, il a eu un accident. One day, he had an accident. So you can see that he used to drive fast for a long period of time, and one day, he had an accident. And this one day is in the passé composé. Now, the imparfait is used to describe habits and repetition, but for a non-specified duration in the past. So we don't really have a clear start and a clear end when we use the passé composé. Nous mangions du chocolat tous les soirs. So we know that every night, so it's repetitive, we had chocolate, but we do not know for how long. So we use the imparfait. Also, when you describe the settings, the background, the context of a story, so that would be things like il faisait beau, the weather was nice. Or les enfants jouaient, so that could be something that is happening in the background of something else that you're describing. And also when we want to be polite, and especially with verbs like souhaiter, vouloir, et aller. I'll give you some examples. Je voulais te demander, I wanted to ask you. J'allais t'appeler, I was about to call you, or I wanted to call you. Ou elle souhaitait te parler, she wanted to talk to you. Now, sometime we can use either the passé composé or the imparfait, depending on the point of view that we want to adopt. So the choice of the passé composé or the imparfait depends on the emphasis that the narrator wants to put on events. In this situation, we will put the main event or the important event in the passé composé and the secondary event, the less important one, in the imparfait. Such as, ce matin, comme il neigeait, j'ai mis mon manteau. It was snowing. Well, if I live in the north, like in Helsinki, it's not really a surprise. So I'm describing the background, it's the context. Neiger is in the imparfait. But compared to, ce matin, il a neigé. If I live in Fiji and it snows, that is real news. In that sense, I'm going to use the passé composé because I'm saying this morning, and it only happened this morning and that's new, it snowed. Then that's the passé composé. So now I'm going to show you a short paragraph and we will analyze the use of the tenses. Hier, je suis allé faire des courses, il faisait chaud et il y avait du monde. J'étais fatigué, je regardais les chemises quand j'ai rencontré Hubert. J'ai habité avec Hubert pendant 2 ans. On s'est toujours bien entendu. On discutait souvent de livres ensemble. So let's look at the tenses that are used in this short paragraph. You've seen that there are some passé composé and some imparfait. The first sentence. Hier, je suis allé faire des courses. Yesterday, I went shopping. Je suis allé, that's the passé composé, and we also understand that the person talking is a woman because there's an E at the end of the past participle. Because it says yesterday, specific time in the past, we are going to use the passé composé. Now, second sentence. Il faisait chaud et il y avait du monde. Both verbs, faisait and avait, are in the imparfait. The reason for that is that I am describing the context, the setting or the background of the action, if you like. J'étais fatigué. Okay, so here we have the imparfait. Again, I'm describing the state in which I was, so imparfait. Je regardais les chemises quand j'ai rencontré Hubert. So we've got 2 verbs and 2 tenses in this sentence. Regarder is conjugated in the imparfait. And j'ai rencontré is in the passé composé. Je regardais is the ongoing action. That's what I was doing when I got interrupted by the second action, which is meeting Hubert, which therefore is in the passé composé. J'ai habité avec Hubert pendant 2 ans. So here we describe something that has happened in the past for a very specific duration of time, 2 years. So again, passé composé. On s'est toujours bien entendu. Okay? On s'est toujours bien entendu is in the passé composé. And the reason for that is that in the past it was true and it is still true now after these 2 years where they lived together. So it was true in the past, still true in the present. And finally, on discutait souvent de livres ensemble. We used to talk a lot about books together. And this is something that was repetitive. Now, it could have been during the 2 years that these people were living together, but perhaps it went for longer, we don't know. So we don't have a clear start or an end. This is a repetitive action, so we use the imparfait. So now, there's a few expressions and keywords that usually will give away the tense that you use. Often, when you have the passé composé, you have things like hier, soudain, lundi, quand, things like this. And with the imparfait, you will find expressions like régulièrement, souvent, le lundi, tous les jours, things that indicate a repetition. Now, you can find a very, very good table with these expressions on frenchhubert.com at this link here. And just a final word, this difference between passé composé and imparfait is not that easy. It comes with work, so do some practice exercises and give yourself time to learn about it. So practice, write, and see the feedback from your teacher.